Are you an introvert or an extrovert? The answer may surprise you. Now, when I asked you that question, what did you use to assess your answer? Good chance you considered, what do I act like in social settings? Because I think most people have been taught and concluded that introvert, extrovert self-expressions are how do you behave in social settings. Now, we have a whole different take on introvert, extrovert, and the main takeaway is consider the energy profiling is a study of energy and movement. And so, of course, we're going to look at introvert and extrovert as qualities of movement. So, Anne, give us the root meaning of intro and extro.
Intro and extro are both prefixes, and intro means inward, and extro means to go outward. So there's the movement right there.
Yes. And so as I teach in energy profiling, type 2 and type 4 are introvert energies.
An inward movement.
Yes. And type 1 and type 3 are extrovert energies.
Outward movement.
Outward movement. And what this looks like is beyond social settings. It's just how do you engage with your day-to-day experience.
Beyond personality a lot of times.
Beyond personality.
There's always that question popping up in the energy profiling world. Well, am I an introvert or an extrovert because I don't like social situations or I like small groups of people. And so we define it differently in Dressing Your Truth.
Yes, and the way, it's very simple. Remember, it's movement. A type 1 and a type 3 will move forward. Their energy will move outward, engaging them in action, moving forward, and they'll gather information as they go. I say type 1s jump forward, type 3s push forward. What happens with a type 2 and a type 4?
Well, it'd be the intro experience. So type 2s and type 4s, they first move inward and then move forward.
Yes.
It's like the type 2s kind of have this whoosh of a wave, that water feel.
You get a feel for it, gather details, where a type 4 will gather information.
Type 4s is whoo, big picture, move forward. And this process can happen very quickly.
Very quickly.
It can even be subconscious, but there is that first response to move inward. And maybe this is a very conscious thing that, depending on the situation, sometimes it's like, whoa, I'm moving inward, then I'm moving outward, but it's always that initial outward or inward movement with the 1 and 3 and the 2 and 4.
So we really could say every person is both an introvert and an extrovert, because it's as I'm moving forward, I am processing inwardly as I physically experience the world.
It's kind of what's that first.
Yes, but first
that would define it.
Extrovert is first, and then introvert happens while I'm moving. Yours, introvert happens first, but then you extrovert yourself, yourself, and you move forward. And then when we add your secondary energy, where I am a 3 with secondary 4, so I'm extrovert, introvert. You're a type 2 with secondary 3. You're an introvert, extrovert. That really changes things up a bit to say, I have that experience of both.
Yes. And then like a 4-2, it would be the introvert. That would be more of an inward process, which I think then that translates to social situations, but that's only one area where that is being expressed.
Right. And a type 1-3 combo or 3-1 is double extrovert first. So they're going to be just naturally more outward moving in many more settings in life. So it's interesting. Anna and I have these extrovert, introvert, dominant, and secondary energies expressing. Of the two of us, who do you think's more outgoing in social settings? The answer may surprise you.
Yeah, even compared to my type 3 husband, I'm more social. It's something I enjoy connecting with people. And while I'm doing it, though, I'm very much like in my mind, is this conversation going well? Or I'll go home, I'm sensing
it. Are they comfortable?
There's that inward quality. Yeah. More particularly with new people, with people I'm comfortable with and familiar with, there's not as much processing at the time, of course.
Let's use the social setting of people you're not with that often. or people that are new.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very outgoing.
No, you very much keep to yourself.
Yes. And you're much more engaged, connecting with people.
And type 1s, of course, will have a preference to not be as social, and type 4s can be very chatty. It just depends on the situation, their movement, what's motivating them to connect with people.
Feeling the day. Yeah. Now, in a familiar group of people, I'm not always as outgoing as Anne either. Just depends on the day that I can be. If that, it's much more comfortable to me to be socially engaging with people I know well. So I think we do these two references to self-expression a disservice a bit when we just make them relative to social settings. So in the world of energy profiling, it's a much broader look at how you move through life. It is that, do I move forward without having to go within first? I just am able to move forward and then I process as I go. Or do I need to have that internal reference, whether it's details, feelings, analysis, big picture? That's really the correct assessment in the energy profiling world.
And that's just one part of the entire assessment of what type you are.
Right. Don't narrow it down to any one specific thing to say which type I am. Too often we take pieces out of it and go, oh, I've heard just literally too many people make references to, well, I'm that type because of one thing. And I'm like, well, that was one thing.
I think a lot of type 1s in particular, because they would be kind of pegged as the most outgoing type in that they're light, they're bubbly, they're maybe more social.
There are more type 1s that are more outgoing than any other type. For sure. We'd say the majority is in that particular type. They're going to be more outgoing people, but nothing in energy profiling is 100%. There are variables based on your background, your childhood influences. Was it safe to be you?
Your secondary.
Yeah. Are you timid in social settings because you weren't supported as a child to be outgoing? And, there's just too many variables.
Or supported in learning how to, really. That's something that I've had to practice even. So if that hasn't really been fostered or practiced, it might make you a little bit nervous in those certain situations.
You've been in many life situations that you've had to develop this ability to meet people, help them feel comfortable.
Carry a conversation.
Start conversation.
And there were a lot of times where I'd leave those conversations feeling like, oh, what have I said? What did I do? A lot of that inward internalizing. We get that question a lot with type 1s. Are type 1s all social? And so I think especially for that group of type 1s where there is kind of this picture of what it looks like, they can feel a sense of relief that, oh, that doesn't mean I have to be this super social butterfly.
They're the most likely, though, to respond very easily to someone chatting with them in a public setting.
That's why I love my type 1 friends. They're very easy to talk to.
They're very easy to talk to, where that may throw off a type 4 or a type 2 may not feel as comfortable with that. So I don't think we should reduce this down to social settings at all, because all types have that variable as to whether they're comfortable and outgoing in social settings. So remember, extrovert means your energy moves outward first. Introvert means your energy moves inward first. And if you're overriding that, you're probably feeling stressed. And so honoring your natural movement, whether it be extrovert or introvert, will allow you to feel more peace and ease in being you. So share in a comment how this has helped you, because I know this helps create some real ahas and gets rid of some old stereotypes that you may be living under, because being your true self is a natural process that's meant to be effortless. Did you like this video? I invite you to share it with a friend, and your friend will be thanking you for helping change their life for the better. It's easy. Just click on one of the share buttons below.